Hey, 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 hey. What is going on? We back in black, back to back. Hey. Shout out to all you niggas that's out there that's hustling. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. Shout out to all you motherfuckers that be like, dude, ain't no racism. Dude, I don't see colors. So shout out to all you racist motherfuckers that's out there. And if you're not a part of the dominant society, you black, you talk about you don't see color. Shout out to the Sambos and Coons and Steppin' Fetch It, Steven from Django, tell him about the gun line, Sambo ass Coon. Fuck out of here. So shout out to all y'all niggas too, cause there's a whole bunch of y'all niggas out there too. You got one nigga that wanna protest and you got another nigga wanna shake a nigga hand. Man, fuck all that shaking hands and hugging. Stop all that. Hey, shout out to motherfuckers that understand that there are a bunch of agent provocateurs out there amongst the protesters. Shout out to all you niggas that's out there that tore up Melrose and tore up Santa Monica. All you white folk pretending like y'all niggas with your mask on and shit. Hey, and shout out to everybody that's like, well shit, that shit ain't affecting me. I'm just gonna try to give me some pussy. So shout out to y'all niggas too, cause the whole bunch of niggas that's more concentrated on trying to fuck a bitch right now. Man, I get it. Do what you do. And shout out to motherfuckers that's like, well, shit, while they doing that shit, man, shit, I'm trying to see how I can come up. Nigga, you can come up by getting you some goddamn books and read them. Dumbass nigga. And shout out to, I want to send a special shout out to family members, you know, that you ain't heard from in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and all of a sudden they pop up out of nowhere like Snoop Dogg on Half Baked because they think you got something. Shout out to those niggas. Shout out to motherfuckers that's out here in Las Vegas with this hot ass sun. It's hot. It's hotter than July. Facts. Full life. Shout out to you motherfuckers that believe everything you see on TV. Shout out to motherfuckers that watch CNN all day thinking CNN is for black folks. Just because they got a bunch of moist motherfuckers on there with no mustache. Sorry. Shout out to all you motherfuckers that's like, you know what, I ain't gonna protest, but you know I'm about to educate myself and educate the people around me. Shout out to them. Hey, hey. R.I.P. to Breonna Taylor. R.I.P. to George Floyd. R.I.P. to James Skurlock. R.I.P. to David McAtee. And a special R.I.P. to Philando Castile, whose killing officer, the officer that shot and killed him, is still walking around here. Shout out to anyone that has the spirit of Ogun and will channel Dirty Boogman's prayer to make sure that officer pays for the crimes that has been committed against black folk. Shout out to all you motherfuckers that's out there that's handling business. You know how they can be at church and they started off with Shando and all this other shit? Well, here, I'm about to start this shit off right. The God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, the God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear, you who are hidden in the clouds, who watch us from where you are. You see all that white has made us suffer. The white man's God asked him to commit crime, but the God within us wants us to do good. Our God, who is so good, so just, he orders us to avenge our wrongs. It's he who will direct our arms and bring us to the victory. It's he who will assist us. We all should throw away the image of the white man's God, who is so pitiless. Listen to the voice for liberty that sings in our hearts. That's Dirty Boogman's prayer. Go check that out. Go get the book. Go check out 1804. Go get that prayer, print it out, frame it, put it on every native black child's, put it on their laptop, put it on their wall, put it in their bathroom. Make them recite that every night before they go to sleep and make them recite it when they wake up. That will change the narrative. Each one teach 21. Turn this down. Man, what is going on, man? Hey, let me tell you something. The niggas out here ain't letting the shit ride. That's a lot of black folks that's not letting up. A lot of black folks going in on niggas on black Twitter. Niggas is not letting up. You cannot be cooning and sandbone on black Twitter. They will let your ass have it. Straight up. I'm proud of it. I love to see it. What is, hey, Shawnee, I checked out that Instagram. That sister was going hard. I gotta give you my number. Not my number, my email. So you can send me those links, and then I can click on them while I'm doing the podcast to make me remember them. Yeah, I'm gonna put my email. I forgot what I think it's no, I don't know, or no way out. I gotta check it out because I'm gonna give you my email. So when you got those links, you can send them to me. But anyway, man, shout out to Shawnee Brown, man, for always keeping me abreast of what the fuck be going on. So shout out to her. Shout out to everybody that's out there. Man, there's a lot of shit going on. Just remind me. I'll give you the email. But hey, I checked it out what the sister was saying. She was saying some real shit. She was speaking some real shit. I'm just here. I wanted to do this podcast, and you notice I got on early tonight. But I wanted to do it because do y'all notice, Shawnee, do you notice, everybody, do you notice how now everybody wants to pander to the native black community? All these organizations, we stand with our black brothers and sisters, and then you got Roger Goodell and all these motherfuckers talking about, oh, we got it wrong. And then, see what struck, the reason why Roger Goodell came out because Drew Brees, he was speaking for all the other dominant society white supremacists. Basically, he wanted to say, fuck that Black Lives Matter bullshit. I don't give a fuck about George Floyd passing away. That's what Drew Brees wanted to say. And then you bringing up the flag. What the fuck does that got to do with George Floyd? Because that's how these dominant society, white supremacists and suspected white supremacists view you. They don't give a fuck about your point. They don't care about niggas getting killed. Shut up and dribble. And you notice ain't no niggas came out besides LeBron and be like, wow, that's what you really on? But everybody keeps talking about, well, it doesn't mean the flag. Why don't you just give them some books and say, well, you need to be more informed on what racism and white supremacy really is. You're alligator rolling it. Basically, you are using white fragility and you're deflecting from the issues that are at stake. Black men and women are losing their lives because of the color of their skin and the fear of a black planet. And you talking about some goddamn flag and all this other shit. Man, fuck that goddamn flag. The thing I would say of him, oh, you want me to pledge allegiance to that flag? So you want me to pledge allegiance to murder, theft, trickery, robbery, rape, aka rapé, let's say Jim Crow, redlining, segregation, lynching. What else so that's what I'm pledging allegiance to. So that's what you want me to do. It's so funny when you start bringing that up. What do they usually do, Shawnee? They alligator roll you. They white fragility your ass. Start deflecting. Wait, let's start with that. The NFL will be nothing without our black players. Facts. That's why I'm about to play this right now. We about to jump right into it. I'm glad. I was itching to talk about that shit. I've been thinking about that shit since early this morning. Man. Let's see. Let me cut it off because, you know, they always want to play commercials and shit. But yeah, I'm definitely going to play this shit because I think it's very imperative that black people see what the fuck's going on. Look at how they twisting it and Oh, well, we about the black people. Well, where the fuck was y'all antennas at 400 years ago? It took all this fiat, man, please. They still ain't seen it. They want to make money.
Roger Goodell is now admitting that the league was wrong for not listening to players as they took a knee. Commissioner Roger Goodell is now admitting that the league was wrong for not listening to players as they took a knee to promote social justice here in the United States, and he's now formally apologizing.
Oh, you notice that? Look, man, there's always nothing is ever done by the dominant society without it something going on. Money. You worried about money. You worried about black people being like, fuck the NFL. You worried about black people putting pressure on black players to be like, fuck them. Don't play. That's what he's worried about. Because Colin Kaepernick been protesting for how long? Philando Castile, Oscar Grant, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Alton Sterling, Eric Gardner. You got all these people, and he clearly stated 1,000,000 times why he was protesting. But y'all, dominant society, white supremacists, still took that movement and try to blame it on, oh, they protesting the veterans. And it's like, even if you're like, what does that have to do with protesting the flag? Well, you're disrespecting the flag. And then when you break it up, well, you know how they got that flag. That flag was created off of deception, theft, fuckery, thievery, slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, gentrification, social injustices to black people, laws and policies that have been put in place to keep black people behind the line. When you tell people that, the first thing they say, especially dominant society people, you always bring up slavery. Well, slavery built this country. See, when you're misinformed, you don't know what else to say. But when you're informed, you always say, well, slavery built it. If it hadn't been for no slavery, you wouldn't have a football. You wouldn't have So I don't want to hear that shit. So stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, well, we got it wrong. Oh, you got it wrong? Well, how you get it wrong? Oh, now they want to talk about brothers like it's the woke up and said, oh, now they want to talk about it? Now I get it. Exactly. Hey, what's going on, 666? I see you. Yeah, man, stop that shit. Here, let me play the rest of this shit.
Listen to this.
It has been a difficult time for our country, in particular, black people in our country. First, my condolences to the families of George Floyd, Breonna.
Y'all notice he said black people. Y'all notice that, right?
Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all the families who have endured police brutality. We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of black people.
Well, where was y'all antennas at before then? Where was y'all antennas at before then? That's what I want to know. I don't know why the screen went black. Hey, y'all know this shit always be tripping. You know the shit always be tripping when I stream and people be in the chat. Now all of a sudden the shit is fucked up and then the motherfucking shit won't come on. Don't even worry about it. We gonna keep it moving. But I'm gonna keep playing this shit.
National Football League admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier.
Oh, so now y'all was wrong. So now y'all were wrong. So all that shit that Colin Kaepernick, so now Colin Kaepernick was right. Now he was right.
And encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much needed change in this country. Without black players, there would be no National Football League.
Oh.
And the protests around the country are emblematic.
Oh, without black players, there would be no NFL. Wow. Now you want to say that after all these years. A motherfucker now want to say that shit. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that about a bitch? Wow.
Of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of black players, coaches, fans, and staff. We are listening. I am listening.
You are listening because there is money on the line, clown. Let's not just jump up and be like, oh, Goodell came out. Nigga, Goodell came out because there's money on the line. And I'm pretty sure they probably reprimanded Drew Brees for saying that shit. See, this is what happens when there's a major killing like that, like all the other ones. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. So they like, nah. So I'm pretty sure they reprimanded Drew Brees, and probably now he has to come out and apologize. If the commissioner's coming out and apologizing for the NFL, when they crucified Colin Kaepernick this whole fucking time, but now all these police are taking a knee. Everybody's taking a knee. But you got to give a little bit of credit to LeBron James. He posted that shit on his Instagram. Now y'all see why Colin Kaepernick was protesting? And now all of a sudden, then Drew Brees, oh, well, he was disrespecting the flag because that's a white supremacist. So as you throwing that football to all those black receivers and you got all these black players around you, now all y'all black players know exactly who y'all fucking with.
And I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more united NFL family.
Wow. Wow. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Wow. That's why I think that's very, 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 that's very, very interesting to watch and to see. Very interesting. And I think, in my honest opinion, I think that was strategically planned because of money. That's what I think. And I don't think it's going to change. At all. And you say why? And the reason why I say why is because why would that change? Why would that change anything? Why would that change the dynamic of anything just because, in my opinion, why would that change anything now? Colin Kaepernick been protesting for the last 5-6 years and everybody condemned him and said he wasn't shit. You got motherfuckers coming out talking about, oh, he's disrespecting the flag and all this other bullshit. Stop it. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to understand what's going on. Hey, each one teach 21. Like I said, when I was having this conversation with one of my co-workers, and he kind of brought it up, and he was like, I don't understand all lives matter. And I said, yeah, you're right. You're entitled to that opinion, and you should keep that opinion. But when you're not black and you have not been discriminated the way black people have been in this country for the last 450 years, and your ancestors have built this country and still been treated like animals nationwide, whether you're down south or up north, there's that. It's going to be a little different for black people than it would ever be for someone else. And I said too, your experience is not the average black person's experience. Black people's experience is very different. See, I didn't even put myself in it because what I was trying to do was get him to see one thing. You can't judge somebody else's experience. You're judging black people's experience when you're not black. So in this country, we've been Jim Crow, redlined, gentrified, lynched, slavery, semi-slavery. All those things combined, that's emotional trauma and genetic trauma that's passed down from generation to generation. So it's deeply rooted. And I told him, I said, there's a lot of books out there that you can research. And I forgot to say that last night, but I said, there's a lot of books out there that you can research and get a different perspective on why black people feel like their lives don't matter. But it's entirely up to you. And I said, and I'm not telling you to change your opinion because it's not about me changing your belief system and your opinion. I want you to keep that opinion. because maybe you're around people that share the same opinion. That's fine. But that's neither here nor there. But you have to have some type of reasoning in your mind to understand, well, that's not my perspective. And you almost break it down to, you have hard, good workers at a corporate plantation, and then you have lazy motherfuckers. The lazy motherfuckers are never gonna complain about the rules and regulations of that corporate plantation because the situation is benefiting them. The people that bust their ass and work hard every day are gonna always constantly be complaining about changing things because they're the one that it's affecting directly. And that's how you have to look at it. Donald Trump shamed Colin Wright. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He shamed him. Like I said, hey, I'm sorry if y'all can't see the footage. I don't know what the fuck happened. The shit went out and came back on. Y'all niggas already know. Every time I do a broadcast on Friday. When I do a podcast on Friday, ain't nobody in the chat room. Nope, never no problems. As soon as I do it, and there's two of y'all in here, the shit start tripping. So don't even worry about it. At least it ain't lagging. But you know what? Donald Trump is a puppet. And what he is doing to me is he's just telling y'all how most white folk really feel. So don't get mad, get glad. We need that information so we can take it and discuss it and process it, run it through our processing data system so we can know exactly what they're thinking. That's why, like, well, I hope he win again. You know why? Because why would I want Joe Biden? Why would I want a covert racist operation going on? No, I want an overt operation going on so I can know exactly what the fuck is going on. See, you don't want motherfuckers they do that at the corporate plantation all day. You don't want somebody, in my personal opinion, running a covert operation and then smiling with you and then the whole time. No, you want an out loud, bold, and upfront racist like Donald Trump. The difference is Donald is giving everybody that smoke. And that's what a lot of people don't like. That's why when it comes time to talk about immigrants and everybody else, everybody, we want to say this, we with the black folk and all this other stuff. But my thing is, but I always say this, but you didn't build the country. I'm still listening, though, fam. No worries. We don't have to see you to hear the message. Facts. Y'all know how this shit go. I bet you the shit on Sunday will work. You see the shit was working perfectly last night. So don't worry about the shit. But I tell you, there is what I would like to say. There is a lot of us suffering from cognitive dissonance where everybody is all over the fucking place. Haven't you noticed that? And then what people are trying to do is hijack the movement, co-opt it, and turn it into something else. I know y'all see that shit. 666, I know you see it. That's why now everybody wants to talk about everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, we done black people wrong and all that stuff. And it's like, well, where the fuck was y'all antennas at 10 killings ago? Let's start with let's start with Oscar Grant. If people just want to go decades, let's start with Oscar Grant. Then you got Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Alton Sterling, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile. You got all these killings under Obama who didn't say or do a motherfucking thing. Thank you. Cut the check, nigga. Hey, 666, you notice when you talk about cutting the check, y'all notice watch this. I want y'all to just watch the dominant society's reaction if you hear another black person say, well, they need to give us reparations, cut the check. Just look at how they look like. How dare them want something that's deserving of them? Because most dominant society people, they don't even know we built the country because they have already been socialized and taught that immigrants have built it and black people don't deserve shit because we niggas. Remember I told y'all how this Caucasian brother was like, oh, well, Pythagoras, no, he came up with geometry because of a sundial, right? I said, who told you that? And he was like, well, yeah, I said, yeah, because the sundial and then you put like a triangle. I said, Pythagoras studied in ancient Kemet for 22 years, man. He said, where's that? I said, Egypt, Africa, where the Moors are. That's where he got his education. I said, man, there's a great book called The Stolen Legacy. You should go read that book. And it'll tell you about your so-called prophets like Socrates and Aristotle and Plato and all these people that are being worshipped from Greece when they got all their knowledge from ancient Kemet. White history is his story. That's what it is. Don't you ever forget it. That will never change. And it is our job. Look, I'm going to tell y'all. Look, I don't care if I repeat this over and over. Look, y'all all know. When y'all see a black person trying to explain to what a dominant society person, white folk, about racism, pull his coattail and say, look, man, just stop. They are fully aware of their privilege. They are fully aware of racism. And if they don't, then there's a library where there's 1,000 books that they can go read. So stop trying to explain that to them, because it doesn't even matter at this point. Explaining that to a dominant society person about racism is just going to waste your time, get you all emotional, and they're going to go home and laugh at you. I believe that as soon as they cut the check, America will change currency. Then they will give us trade-up option that will be worth much less. Facts. That's a fact. Say it again. Remember, we've been talking about that shit. Remember, I told you, I said, look, when motherfuckers talking about putting Harriet Tubman on the dollar, I'm like, oh shit, they getting ready to change the currency. They gonna be like, we're gonna give niggas $100 trillion in reparations, which will equivalent to $10 million per black person. And then after you get the money in, you done flossed and bought your cars and all that, you ain't worked. Then they're gonna be like, oh, we're changing the currency. Now we're changing to something else, and now you can exchange the currency we gave you for this, and it'll be 25 cents to the dollar. Now you're fucked again, because they'll just move the goalpost. They don't care. Why would they change a system that's beneficial for them? That's why stop it. When you see black people trying to pander and buck dance and sambo and cry and all, stop doing that. Because that's not going to change their mentality. They don't care. It's benefiting them. So stop it. If a real white person wants to know what they can do, tell them. Blow up the system from the inside. Tell your grandfathers and uncles and aunts and moms and cousins that are judges and lawyers and pass these laws and senators and politicians, change the laws. Change what you're doing. Stop it. That's why I be getting so irritated, man, when I be like, man, stop trying to explain. The dominant society is the one who made up these rules and regulations. That's why, look at how they praise Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and all these people. And then when you bring up, well, they owned slaves and they was raping, it's documented history. Then they be like, oh, well, how do we know that's true? Man, what? And if you notice, there's no books to ever, I would say, be oppositional of the books like Dr. Claude Anderson's book. Why is there no books to be oppositional to that? You know why? Because there's no documented history that they weren't doing that. Yep, or an FRID chip, or RFID chip, Yep, facts. I'm telling you, man, when you watch how they move, study them. Why do y'all think I can't show you the book, but I've just read the book, The Borgias and Their Enemies. Now I'm reading The Medici. The book about the Medici, this Italian corrupt banking conglomerate family who was just fucking running game the whole fucking time. They had this thing called usury. Basically, fractional reserve banking at its finest. This is before the Rothschilds. This is what I personally, I think this is where they got the shit from. I think this is where the Rothschilds and the Jewish, bankers, I think this is where they got that shit from. From the Italians from the 13th and 14th and 1500s. This is what I think. Because they were a corrupt ass family. And they wasn't trying to change the shit. Just like right now. As I look, you should see how these niggas is niggas explaining now. I'm about to play another interview. This shit is funny. I'm about to play it from the beginning. This is about Derek Chauvin and his partner. And now they all turning Now they all throwing each other under the bus. See, now this shit is getting real on the field, and now they like, oh shit, fuck that. I was just doing what my training officer told me to do. Now listen to this interview. Listen to this.
Who have been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder in the death of George Floyd. And we're also getting a sense of what their defense. We got our first look at 3 officers who have been charged with aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting. You see, look. Them dominant society people trying to throw something on these motherfuckers. They like, she want these niggas tearing up everything.
Second-degree murder in the death of George Floyd. And we're also getting a sense of what their defense strategy might be, at least for 2 of them. And that is apparently shifting the blame to the senior officer, Derek Chauvin. Now, this was a very surreal moment to be here behind us.
You see that? That's what. See how these laws work? Those motherfucking other police officers was like, wait, me too? I didn't do nothing. Well, nigga, you was with them. Because let me tell you something. If I was with a gang and they were my family members and this gang killed somebody, they throw a gang injunction on me just because I know them and just because I was with them. So now, since police are one of the biggest gangs, now they're getting the same treatment. Now it's like, wait, hold on. I was just doing what my training officer told me to do. And that's what and see, let me tell you what Derek Chauvin's going to try to do. They going to try to alligator roll it some type of way and deflect some type of way because you're on camera. So how else are you going to be able to hide it and deny it? You can't say he was out of control. You never let up. But see, now it's going to be the blame game.
In the courtroom, I was here with our producer, Aaron Cooper, and I say surreal because these officers who worked for the criminal justice system are now being prosecuted by that same system for alleged crimes. Now, inside court yesterday, there were 3 separate hearings. The defendants were brought in wearing orange prison uniforms. They had members of their family in the audience, and the state's assistant attorney general began by saying that this is a very serious matter involving a very tragic death, and these are very serious charges. Now, the state asked for a very high bail, that obviously countered by defense counsel, and we got a sense of that strategy of these officers because one of the attorneys for former Officer King pointed out that as this encounter happened with George Floyd, his client turned to Derek Chauvin and said, we can't do this. Now, an attorney for Officer Lane similarly used that type of thinking, pointing out that his client had only been on his 3rd shift. So
you see that? Well, I've only been on my 3rd shift.
Junior. Now, I caught up with that same attorney outside court, and what I tried to do was get a sense of what is this strategy you're trying to put forward? Because while we were in court, that attorney actually said, what is my client supposed to do but to follow what the training officer said? So what I wanted to know was, are you saying that your client was simply following orders, which as we know is an excuse that often raises eyebrows? The attorney got very heated. As it turns out, defense attorneys who get paid to ask tough questions sometimes don't like answering them. Here's how that exchange went. Claim that he was following orders, you're claiming?
No, I'm not claiming he was following orders. I'm claiming that he thought what he was doing was right.
So was he following orders or what he thought he was doing? So he thought Derek Chauvin keeping his knee in George Floyd's neck to the point to where he can't breathe, he's losing consciousness, he's urinating all over himself because he's passing in and out of consciousness, and he thought that was right?
Because he asked the training officer, should we roll him over twice? You got to have criminal intent for 2nd-degree murder. And frankly, this is bull.
Now, profanity aside, this is obviously going to...
He said, frankly, this is bullshit. See? See how bold that is? So a juror of his peers should look at that interview and say, bullshit? Guilty, nigga. Nope. Sorry.
Their strategy to try to point to the senior rank of Derek Chauvin as the person who was responsible here. For the judge wasn't buying any of it, by the way. The bail was set at $1 million as the government requested, or $750,000 with conditions. For Chauvin's part, he will be here behind us in court on Monday. We'll get a sense of what his strategy is.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Ain't that crazy? You see how that goes? See how they twist it? That's crazy. So basically, they all finna throw that. They all finna throw Derek Chauvin under the bus. That's what he get. He needs the death penalty. If more police officers start going to jail for 20 and 30 years, losing their pensions, being sued civilly to where their houses could be taken and whatever they own could be taken as collateral, and start getting the death penalty, I bet you they'll stop killing niggas. I bet you they'll leave niggas alone. But they're not going to do that. Why would you say that, Warren? No, they're not going to do that, because then that would be destroying the system of racism and white supremacy. And it's a team sport. And there's a lot of other people that's on that team, including law enforcement. So for 1 second, just because these white race soldiers are shaking black people's hand and kneeling with them and talking about, we're going to march with you and all that, that don't mean shit. We don't know what they saying when we're not in the room. As Dr. Frances Welsing teaches us, what is being said about black people when we're not in the room? As Dr. Boyce, not even Dr. Boyce Walker, but as Dr. Claude Anderson says, because Dr. Boyce always quotes Dr. Claude Anderson too, Dr. Claude Anderson teaches you have no friends and no allies. It's only you. So you ain't got time to be in competition with yourself. And when I mean yourself, people that look like you, you're in competition with everyone else. That's why every other racial group has taken this protest movement, co-opted it, looting and doing all this bullshit, defacing property. It ain't even black people doing it. It's other racial groups doing it. Now let me tell y'all something. Most black people in LA don't even know where Melrose Place, where Melrose is, or where the Santa Monica Promenade is. But for some sort of reason, they just happen to end up in Santa Monica to tear up all that shit. As I'm watching a dominant society bitch carry a cheesecake out like she worked there, she looked like she was getting ready to serve that cheesecake to somebody as she's walking out with a cheesecake. This is the type of shit that you see. But you want me to believe that it's all black people? Stop it. Just like out here in Las Vegas, they got everything boarded up. There's a Best in the West shopping center off of Rainbow and Lake Mead, off of the 95 and Rainbow, and they got everything boarded up over there. Got all the shopping centers closed down. It's like, why? Oh, well, because they might, man, ain't nobody finna come up here and tear that shit up. They would have done it already. Man, first of all, Las Vegas, Nevada ain't got a whole bunch of people here to be doing that shit anyway. Two, Nevada don't give a fuck about nothing but dumbass niggas going to the goddamn casinos and spending their money. Niggas don't give a fuck about no niggas. Carolyn Goodman don't care about no black people. Don't care about no people that got COVID that's struggling. Y'all should know that when that bitch went on fucking CNN. And talk about, well, let the casino, I don't have a plan for it. That's not my job. Then why are you talking? But these are the people that y'all elect and y'all put in positions of power. That's why this shit is the way it is. That's why motherfuckers worried about, like a motherfucker was talking about, and my brother's keeper, that program that Obama came with. I'm like, black people are still talking about Obama as if he did something specifically for black folk. He didn't do anything for black folk. He did it for minorities and people of color. And he did it for the Jewish community and our elite Jewish bankers. But he didn't do shit for black folk. Nothing. He never even spoke up for black folk in a term of endearment that we can understand where he's coming from. But he shed a tear for those kids in that massacre in Boston, though. My thing is, why you not shedding a tear for Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, Oscar Grant, Breonna Taylor? Who else? David McAtee, George Floyd, Walter Scott, who got shot in the back, and that white cop trying to plant evidence on him. Thank God somebody caught him with a camera. Come on, man. And then motherfuckers wonder why when we get pulled over, we nervous and palms, and motherfuckers be like, well, don't get nervous. Nigga, what you mean don't get nervous? They killing niggas out here. What you mean? And now the NFL and fucking Roger Goodell want to come out and be like, oh, well, nigga, well, where was your antenna at when Colin Kaepernick was protesting, and then those other white supremacists got together, because it's a team sport, and banded together and colluded not to hire or to sign Colin Kaepernick for a contract so he could play in the NFL. That's what they did. Now y'all backpedaling. If I was a black person, now is the time to be like, you know what? Especially if you got your money, be like, no, it's a lot of racism within the NFL community. I know it is. I know it's racism. Don't tell me it ain't. I know it's racism. Please don't. It's racism in the NBA. They want a white hype they want another Larry Bird so bad, it's killing them. Let me tell you something. They would praise and exalt Larry Bird more if Larry Bird, when they came out and said the black players are better than the white players. So can we come out and play basketball now? See, they didn't like that he said that. That's why they don't give Larry Bird the props that they should give him, to my perspective, because they didn't even want him saying that. They wanted him to be oppositional of Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah Thomas was right. Black players are the best players, and when we do shit, it gets overlooked. But when white players do it, it gets exalted. That's what Floyd Mayweather said about Jeremy Lin, who was a check thief, who stole money from the NBA this whole time and couldn't play worth a goddamn. As a nigga gave him his first start, which was Carmelo Anthony. Told D'Antoni to put him in. Yeah, just put him in the game, man. Give him a spot. Then he shined from there. Now all of a sudden, you know, it's like, man, y'all be killing me with this shit. Some of the things that I see in the Sanborn and the Conan, now what we need to do is, now that you see that they're folding, now it's time for us to get together and become a team and be on code. So now it's time to start pulling people's coattails. Killer Mike, T.I., all these other black celebrities, pull their coattails and be like, hey, man, y'all can't be doing that shit. And Lakeisha Bottoms trying to chastise motherfuckers and talking to people like you somebody's mama or auntie. And now you see Lakeisha Bottoms came back on and was very docile. She was very humble. And, you know, it's just very important. Then you want to bring up your mama and how your mama was talking about the civil rights movement. Bitch, stop it. Just stop it, man. And the reason why I say just stop it, because it's like, where's that energy at when it's going towards Joe Biden? Why don't y'all take that same energy and be like, you know what, man? Like that 94 crime bill, you're saying that it didn't affect black people, but it did affect black people. So where's that energy? That's what I'm looking at. My focus is on black folk that are supposed to be these celebrities who keep pandering and catering to the dominant society. I call them the Tell 'em About the Gun Line boss, Sambo, Coon, Hayward Shepherd, Steven from Django ass niggas, who will do anything to get a pat on the head from the dominant society. It will sell you out in a minute. Motherfuckers be thinking that a coon is just a motherfucker that speaks proper. No, a coon is a motherfucker that think that they're a Caucasian and black skin and will treat other niggas like they ain't shit. You know what I mean? No, a coon isn't just buying a whole bunch of European name brands. No, that's just what they spend their money on. What do they do? You can learn a lot about a person by what they spend their money on, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a coon or a Sambo. What are their actions being taken? Are they trying to get knowledge? And if they're not trying to get knowledge, when they get around the dominant society, and I'm not talking about at the corporate plantation, I'm talking about outside the corporate plantation, are they different? Do they act different? Do they tend to try to put other black people on blast around the dominant society and possess that racial showcase and confusion? It's like, come on, man, stop it. I think that's the main problem that we have, is dealing with each other, because we don't like each other. I was listening to this, how Snoop, he was on that, I don't know if he was on a live or whatever with Amanda Seales or whoever it was, and she was like, yeah, they don't know the law. And then he went in about the Nation of Islam. He's like, the one thing about the Nation of Islam, and I am going to say it, the Fruit of Islam, they know the law. They're the most respected black men out here. Now, that's the Snoop that I'm used to saying, that I'm used to seeing, hearing from. That's what I'm used to hearing. But more people need to give the Nation of Islam props. Shout out to all the other religious groups that stand up for equality, but I guess I'm more partisan, and I guess I'd more lean towards the Nation of Islam, because to me, I've been listening to Farrakhan the last 10 years straight. Now, do I follow all the principles? No, I don't, because I was misinformed a long time ago. But a lot of this shit, it changed my view and my perspective on a lot of shit. It changed how I interact with a lot of people. You know, sometimes you gotta fall back. You know, and I'm very impartial when it comes to the FOI Nation Islam, because they teach you how to be a man. They teach you how to navigate through this system. They teach you how, in my personal opinion, they teach you how to be codependent on you and independent from the dominant society. That's what they teach. They teach discipline, which a lot of us need. I need it, but a lot of us need that discipline. And we don't, I know, I get it. We don't want to sing it because it is. It's hard. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But these are just things that we got to work on. But I think the main thing is being a team. Collaborative effort and a cooperative effort. Where people coming together. It's too much cognitive dissonance. Motherfuckers want to be all over the place. That's why I say what I say when I be like, make your time a luxury. That's why I answer the phone. Of course, you know what? My phone being fucked up that long, that made it better for me because now I'm so used to it. Now I answer the phone because I don't want any vampire energy, like energy vampires. And vampires that want to drain all your energy and then do a transformation of energy. And then they dumping all your negative shit on you. Now you carrying it around their way. Nah, man, fuck all that. What I want to do is I want to be and attract and magnetize like-minded individuals and people that's on the game, that read more than me, that's humble, that's willing to teach me. I don't want to be around a whole bunch of people like me. It's very difficult for me to be in a space with a bunch of people that is not trying to attain and accumulate books and knowledge and grow. If I'm around a person and they all they want to talk about is CNN, it's hard for me to I just can't do it. I'm sorry, it's no diss, it's not personal, it's business. I'm not spending my money on books for shits and giggles. I'm spending my money on my books because I want to have better knowledge of who I am and better knowledge of who the fuck they are. So I can know what's going on. Because it's very imperative that we know. The more you know you don't know. See, every other racial group, they know who they are. We don't. Every other racial group know exactly what we're capable of, but we don't know that. And a lot of the reason why we don't know that because reading is fundamental and niggas don't want to do that shit. That's why I don't go out of my way to go chase no nigga down or read no book. You don't want to read, that's on you. It's so funny. It's almost like the stock game, how I tell you about the stock game. You know, I tell people about the stock game. I tell one brother about the stock game. He wants to take a formula, you know, from something else and apply it to the stock game. And I'm like, look, you have to read and do your research and take this shit seriously. People that respect the stock market are people that benefit from it. The people that don't respect it and treat it like it's the sports book are the people that walk away talking shit about it in the end when they have lost a lot of money because it's the long game. It's not the short game. That's what the dominant society has over us. Now, it didn't bother me as much because I'm laughing because I'm like, well, to each his own. That's what you want to do and you know what you want to do, fine. But the thing about it is I've been studying, listening to Dr. Boyce Watkins for 4 or 5 years and reading books and obtaining the knowledge on my own based off the things that he said, which were facts. So if I only know a minute portion of it and you dealing with a person that don't know nothing and then they think they do, you got to just let them go. Life will be their best experience. And when they get their ass kicked, they'll understand. Because it ain't your job to go out of your way to be the bumpers at a bowling alley. You know when they put the bumpers when a kid is bowling? No, these are grown people. That's why I said stop going out of your way to try to explain to everybody what racism and white supremacy is. Other racial groups know what it is because they benefit from it as well. As long as the white folk got their foot on black folks' neck, they can go do what the fuck they want to do. That's why when a motherfucker get to talking this immigrants and all this other shit, I be laughing because I'm like, well, do you know the history of this country? And then they be like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, the history of this country states this. Native blacks built it. We built the country for free. If you go back and do the history, they weren't mentioning any Latinos, any Chinamen, any white folk. No, they were mentioning black folk building everything. Stop it. Inventing everything. Where do you think all these inventions came from? It's just white folks own the patent offices. That's why. But they'll have you thinking they invented everything. Just like they got you thinking they invented geometry. If they got the average person believing that some white person came up with geometry, just imagine what else you think that a white person invented that a black person did. Like the stoplight. For instance, the iron. I keep saying it over. Those are things that everybody uses. An iron and a stoplight. Everybody uses an iron, and everybody uses a stoplight. No, I don't. You go to the cleaners, then you use iron. Stop it. Do you drive? No, but I ride. Exactly. How many stoplights you come up on? That's a black person. Stop it. It's just they want to change the narrative, and they want to use, as Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us, broad and ambiguous terms. People of color, minorities, all this bullshit mantra, and jargon, political jargon that they throw you with, and then you be like, yeah, okay, yeah, minorities. And then what they do is they give it to some Mohammed Akbar that fucking trying to sell you a squishy at motherfucking 7-Eleven, and then you be like, well, where's the motherfucking resource at? Oh, we gave it to a person of color. That's why you have to be definitive in what you want your answer to be. So when you question somebody, you say, no. What specifically, like on Twitter, somebody was like, well, what specifically did Obama do for black folk? Man, this lady couldn't come up with no answer. She was talking about all this shit, and my brother's keeper. I'm like, that wasn't specifically for black folk. So what did he do specifically for black folk? Not a goddamn thing. And y'all need to tell other people, when you see them doing some suck-ass shit, like going out to vote, tell them, man, I don't do that suck-ass shit. Go get your etymology dictionary. It'll tell you what you need to do. Go get you a Black's Law dictionary. It'll tell you what all these legal terms mean and the trickery behind the words. But niggas don't want to read. You know what niggas want to do? Get money and fuck hoes. I'm just keeping it a buck. And I understand. I understand testosterone at an all-time high, and you want to fuck. I get it. But after you fuck, why don't y'all sit together and read a book or just talk about some real issues? Whatever bitch you fucking with or every nigga you fucking with, sit down and have real conversations with them. You gonna learn a lot in the first 5 minutes. You're gonna learn so much about them, it's gonna either repulse you or it's gonna make you be like, okay, I see where they're coming from. Will it matter about the judges? What you mean? Jessica Mallory, details. What do you mean, will it matter about the judges? And in what format? Just specify your question. Hey, wish that it was says a vote is. Thank you. Hey, wish. That's what it says a vote is. If you have an etymology dictionary, look up the word vote. It says literally to wish. That's what it means. The origin of the word. So we got to understand what these words mean. But I'm interested to see, will it matter about the judges? What matter about the judges? You mean in the case of Derek Chauvin? What do you mean? Specify that. And then I'll answer it from my personal perspective. Because, like I said, this is the No I Don't Know podcast. No, I don't know. I don't claim to know anything. In reference to the judges that the president appoints. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it does. If y'all notice, Trump been appointing all kinds of white supremacists. But let me tell you this, though. As Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us in Powernomics and Black Labor White Wealth, you rent, lease, and buy politicians and judges. Judges are not your friend. Judges are like politicians, too. They're not your friends. They're there to be rented, leased, and sold. So, yeah, you're right. It does matter. But Obama, it ain't. See, I think people think because Obama appointed the Latino chick or whatever, some judge, they think, man, those judges are going to maintain the system of white supremacy. And you're like, well, what do you mean, Warren? Okay, let me tell you what I mean. For the most part, most judges are going to maintain the laws and the policies and procedures that are put in place from hundreds of years ago. They're not going to change that. The Supreme Court judges are not going to. That's not what they're in business for. They're in business to maintain it, not to change it. If they wanted to change it, they would have done it already. So when you're in business to maintain the institution because it's a team sport, you're not going to go out of your way to try to change it. Why? So you can lose your nice $300,000 a year salary or $400,000 a year salary and your stocks and all the perks that come along with it. I'm repelled by Biden, but would his appointees be less oppressive than Trump? Okay, good question. Let me tell you what I think about Biden in his whole. Biden was the architect behind the 94 crime bill. Go read the 94 crime bill and see. You need to go get The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. It talks about the 94 crime bill. It talks about all the precedents that kept extending all those policies that were set in place. And Joe Biden, during his speech, he asked for an extra 3 minutes to talk about how, yeah, we created this atmosphere for basically black people, but I don't want them around my wife or my kids and all this other stuff. That's the main thing. The second thing is it put over 500,000 black people behind bars because of that crime bill. So, no, I don't think Joe Biden's appointees would do any better than Trump. Donald Trump and Joe Biden, to me, are the same. It's just Joe Biden is hiding behind the Democratic shields, and Trump is just flat out saying, fuck y'all. I don't give a fuck about the black people. I don't give a fuck. I care about white people. That's it. Oh, you saw his speech? Very, very horrible. But you know what, though? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be the first one to admit. I voted for Obama, and I thought Biden was good because of Obama. That's how misinformed I was in 2008. I was very misinformed. By 2012, I was a little misinformed. I was still misinformed, but I started to wake up. By 13, 14, that's when I completely was like, man, Obama's on some bullshit, and Joe Biden is some motherfucking, because I started listening to, other things on YouTube and doing the research for myself. Once I did the research on Joe Biden on YouTube and listened to that speech a long time ago, I was like, damn, he's going hard. And then there's other speeches of him in 84 going hard on black people. So I was like, damn, he's going hard. And then I'm like, well, why would Obama appoint him? And then you start looking at all the things that Obama did, and it's like, oh, well, he never gave a fuck about black people in the first place. So no, that's why black people get mad at me when I be like, vote for what? We have to stop thinking that because people are Democrats, aka Democrats, that they are for black people. Just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean you're for black people. Democrats are for white people. That's why when you look at the Democratic Party, they do everything for the racial group of black folk. Oh, thank you for answering. Oh, no problem. And that's just my perspective. People may look. There's 100,000 people that don't agree with me. Matter of fact, there's black people with me every day that be like, "No, man, you can't think that." But that's just from my studies and the things that I've read, and my own belief system, which I'm flexible with. So I don't give a fuck if Joe Biden is racist all he wants. But if the day he comes up with a black agenda that's specifically for black folk and is going to benefit my people, where we're not begging for jobs from the dominant society people and getting oppressed on these jobs, because there's a lot of oppression at the corporate plantation. There's a lot of passive aggressive racism at the fucking corporate plantation. So if you give us the land, wealth, and resources that are owed to black folk, and we don't have to go back to those corporate plantations, we can start corporations of our own and employ our own people like Rosewood, like Tulsa, Oklahoma, then we won't even need the dominant society, for any of our business or anything, and then we can go ahead and move on as a sovereign nation, as our own people, and have our own construct, our own social construct of black is beautiful, black is this, not just, oh, well, black is only important when a nigga get killed. When a black person get killed, then he's important. When he doesn't get killed, then it's just black people are ghetto and thugs and they break in. That's the narrative that the dominant society has went with the last, I would say, 400 years. And the only way that you get outside of that stigma and that narrative is if you act like Obama. That's the template for black people. Be him. But you can't say Farrakhan. You can't say the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You can't say Malcolm X. You can't say Brother Reza Islam, Brother Tony Muhammad. You can't say those names. But you can say Barack Obama, who threw his preacher under the bus to win, who sold out his own people. But then again, were we his people? Did he even really look at us as his people, or did he just look at us as a commodity that he was going to use to get the vote? Wake up, y'all. Understand what's going on. You know, we can protest, we can march, we can whine, we can repeat, we can loot, we can do all those things, and that's fine. But we got to change our mentality and work with each other and not hate each other. That's the main problem that I see with black folk. Niggas don't want to listen to each other. Niggas don't respect each other's time. I say that all the time. Black folk do not respect each other's time. They think it's a game. It's funny to them. They don't care. But you know what? I'm here to take that back. That's why I don't answer the phone with nobody. Nope. Sorry, not personal, it's business. I don't care if you don't like it. And the reason why it does not bother me, because you're a business. And some people gonna be with it, be with the movement, be with the business aspect of handling business, and they won't. Oh well. But I'm a firm believer of building something from the ground up. But once you build it from the ground up, can't nobody come beyond and be like, oh, no, you didn't. Because the thing that I've learned most about my people is we do not want to build nothing from a foundation. We want it already built so we can walk through it and sit down and fuck a bitch. We don't want to build the foundation. We don't want to help with the architectural side of it. We don't want to deal with the blueprints of it. We just want it to be built so we go sit down. But don't nobody want to get out there and try to build it from, build the foundation. So understand what it is, man. Don't let these people fool you. Don't let this, I would say, deflecting and alligator rolling, that I would like to call it, taking you on this fantastic voyage, and then by the time you come back, you saying all lives matter. Now they saying Black Lives Matter because then, see, when the dominant society, in my personal opinion, when they see you start to wake up and come together as a team, see, the social consciousness movement is at an all-time high. Motherfuckers starting to wake up. So if you are not on board, you're going to get left behind. Because everybody ain't just sitting around not reading. Motherfuckers are reading. That's why I tell them, if you better go read, you're going to be left behind. Stop worrying about what Beyonce and Jay-Z is doing. You better worry about what the fuck you doing. Because Beyonce and Jay-Z are allowed to be billionaires. Because they are safe. And there's no diss, but they're safe. Remember that. You ain't gonna never see no radical black man that's for his people solely speak out and be a billionaire. No. It's gonna be Bob Johnson. It's gonna be Robert Smith. It's gonna be a Jay-Z. No diss to Jay-Z. No diss to his accomplishment. But I'm just saying, those people are selected, not elected. They're selected to be a part of the Billionaire Boys Club because they are safe. They're not gonna be radical and start some type of a movement where it will empower their people. That's just not going to happen. That's why J. Edgar Hoover was looking and searching for the next black messiah. Because they know who we are. That's why I don't put my trust and hope and faith in any type of law enforcement when it has been infiltrated by the KKK, who can't stand black people. So why would I put my trust in them? I would say 90% of the white people that are police officers, they're affiliated with the KKK. They are racist white supremacists. And the other half of white people are suspected white supremacists. And that's not going to change until you show me different. Man, I appreciate it. Everybody listening, do you have a video on the books you've read? I don't have a video, but I just talk about them. Each time I finish a book, Shawnee know the routine, 666 know the routine. I'll show the book on camera. The camera went out. But I usually show the book and talk about it. Like right now, I'm reading about the Medici family, an Italian family. But there's another book about this black brother who was a Medici. He was an Italian. He was black and Italian. But for some sort of reason, Amazon Prime talking about the book ain't ready. But then I got to wait. So if they don't have that book, if that book is not available for Amazon Prime, I'm just going to order it through somewhere else because I'm getting that book. Because, the Italian community, they want to act like, let me get on them for a second. The Italian community, want to act like all their knowledge comes from them and they didn't learn shit from niggas. But the Sicilians and the real Italians, they know where they got it from. And that's the Moors. That's why a lot of those Sicilians and Italians have that olive skin. They know that for sure. Yeah, like a family crest. I believe you put it in the description box on other videos. Okay. Yeah, I gotta start doing that. I just be forgetting. Cause you know what I'm saying? Look, Shawnee, you already know. When it be too many people, I'm surprised the stream went on this long. When it be too many people in the chat, you already know they'll start fucking with it. If it was Tamisha and Taja in here with this person and 66, it would have started tripping. You already know that. So I'm gonna start doing it. But I noticed one thing too. I noticed that as people start to acquire more books and knowledge, I noticed the prices on Amazon are going up. The price for books ain't the same. When I started buying books 2014, when I started buying books in 2014, the prices were dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. But now, all-time high. So go get those books, go get that knowledge. Hey, I'ma see y'all at like 3 o'clock on Sunday. Same bad time, same clown ass channel. If y'all know any motherfuckers that's out there cooning and sandbone and talking about all lives matter, and they medical apartheid is $60, you lying. I believe you. I fucking believe you. Shawnee, I believe. See, Jessica Mallory, you need to look at that shit. If you real. I hope you ain't no agent provocateur, because I don't think you should be one on this channel. I ain't got enough followers for that shit. But these books are expensive now. Matter of fact, hey, Shawnee, you know you can't get The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Blacks on Amazon no more. They don't sell that book anymore. They banned that book. Yep. And a lot of books are expensive. The Book of Enoch, when you first told me about that book was like $9. That book is like $14 now. That's a lot of books that are expensive as fuck. Yeah, you can't get. I'm about to get off in a minute, but I gotta get this out there. You cannot get The Secret Relationship Between Jews and Blacks. You cannot get that book. But you know what's so funny? At the end of the book, the Nation of Islam's got a whole bunch of other books that you can buy. And let me read some of them off. They got a whole bunch of books. They got a book, How White Folks Got So Rich. Let me see the other books. They got a whole bunch of books. I know it's another book that I always hear Farrakhan talking about. It's called Dare Not Call It a Conspiracy. That's a book that I be seeing Farrakhan talk about all the time. He's got a book called Jews Selling Blacks. See, Jews, they didn't like that shit. They was pissed. But y'all gotta understand, man, these books are expensive because motherfuckers are buying them. That's why. We gotta understand what it is. Like, yeah, I believe medical apartheid is $60. I mean, I spilled some water on my book. I was so fucking mad because that book was good. And you see how they was closing doors on her because I think she tells the story in the beginning. Have you read the book, Shawnee? I think she tells the story at the beginning. I have a few books, but need to get into them. I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old son I'm educating. We just went over the Tuskegee experiment. Yeah, if you get post-traumatic slave syndrome if you get that by Dr. Joy DeGruy, she kind of talks about it. The medical apartheid, they talk about the Tuskegee experiment. The medical apartheid, that book is so raw. I would suggest you give your 10-year-old and your 7-year-old, first of all, like for money, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he has this book. It's like a $5 a day plan or whatever. The book is not long. You should give them that. Kind of tells them how to invest. And then I would tell you to get Think Like a Millionaire by Dr. Boyce Watkins. That's just a good book about, financial stability from a black person standpoint. But if you want to really delve into it, get Black Labor, White Wealth by Dr. Claude Anderson. Just go get that book. And then the next book I would tell you to get is Powernomics. Then the next book I would tell you to get is Black History Reader. If you get those 3 books and then get The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, please get that book. The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Keys to Color. I suggest you get those books because the more books that you read, the easier those conversations are going to be with your children about racism, white supremacy. Because if you're not educated, only thing you're going to tell people is they racist because they just don't like people because of slavery. See, we got to get off that. We got to get away from just bringing up slavery but not having receipts or having documented history on why. I have the Africana, the Encyclopedia of the African and the African American Experience. Okay. By Kwame Anthony. Okay. And Henry Louis Gates. Okay. Hey, those are good books. I have not read them, but I'm gonna put them in my Shawnee. No, I'm gonna put them in my my cart. Because when I put them in my cart, Amazon, I'm gonna go get them. Like the Book of Enoch, I'm getting that book. I'm getting the other book, Know Thyself, because it's got Dirty Bookman's Prayer. So, yeah, man. I suggest you really just go on Amazon. I would say go on Amazon and just, because Amazon picks up your algorithm and just start looking up a lot of Black history books. And then they'll just start sending you books. Damn. And it's sold out. Hey, Shawnee, we've been so far ahead of the game. Niggas could never front on us. We've been so far ahead of the game. Look, let me tell you something, Shawnee. I was so proud of myself when I heard Blue Pill and Red Pill. Those are very conscious brothers. Those brothers are geniuses, street legends. When I heard Blue Pill and Red Pill talking about a book they haven't read, which was the story of Jeremiah Hamilton, the Prince of Darkness or the Dark Prince. When I heard him talking about Jeremiah Hamilton, I was like, oh shit, I've been talking about that for years. You don't know how proud I was of myself. When I heard Professor Griff talking about medical apartheid, and I had read it, and I've been talking about medical apartheid since you started listening to my podcast, when you was the only one listening to it. Shit, hell, it was just me and you on the podcast damn near the whole time. And now, look, it's $30. I got medical apartheid for like $8. Medical apartheid with taxes and everything was like $11 for medical apartheid. That's a fact. Damn. Encyclopedia, it was like $85 at Black Museum here in San Diego. Old Town. Shawty know. Hey, I'm telling y'all, watch. That's always my goal. That's why I put it out there. My goal is to save my bread, handle my business, and I just want to open up a bookstore. And then I want to be doing my podcast remote from the bookstore and at the crib. And I want everybody to come to that bookstore because you know one thing about us, Shawnee, it isn't just Black people that know our knowledge. The dominant society knows who we are. They know that's where they got their knowledge from. So they're fully aware of what's going on. They just want to know if you're aware. Thank you. See, you got medical apartheid. I'm about to say I paid like $8, $9 for medical apartheid. And then the shipping and handling and all that, I think the shipping and handling was free, but the tax was like $1.99. So this shit made like $11. It was like $8.99. Yeah, it was like $8.99. And then shipping and handling was free. And then the tax because I got Amazon Prime, and that shit was like $11. And I know you read the book, Shawnee, because doesn't quote me, correct me if I'm wrong, check my ass. But did she talk about in the beginning of the book how when she was trying to get all the references and go to like the Library of Congress and go to the different libraries, some of the librarians was turning her away and some of the fucking scholars was like, why are you researching this history and why are you doing this? Because to my recollection, because I ain't read the book in like 3 years, but if I'm not mistaken, they were trying to deter her from doing the research because she was like going to like old ass libraries and going to old school professors and asking them if they got this book and reference on this. And a lot of people were like, you shouldn't be looking up this history. So why would somebody tell you not to look up the history? That means the shit is facts. So I would suggest that. I would suggest that you really, 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 like I said, man, a lot of books are expensive as fuck. I just got my book on Credo Mutwa. That book was sold out. He's an African shaman that a lot of David Icke and a lot of these people get their knowledge from. Now I'm about to start getting some Aleister Crowley books, but yeah, man, they study us. We just don't study us. They study who we are. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look, let me tell you something, man. Here I'm looking. I'm putting that book you told me about, Jessica Mallory. I'm putting that in there. What does it say? I have the Africana, so I'm looking that up right now. Let me see. Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna get 12 Years a Slave. I don't want to read it, but god damn. I don't want it, but it's only $5. Can you believe that? $5. Casa de Rey Mora, House of the Moorish King. The guy who owns it teaches honors black studies at our city college. His museum is awesome. Hey, good looking. Okay. And then I'm going to promote that shit. I will promote it. Look, you need to go check out blackandnoble.com too. Shawnee put me on to that. They got all your CMOS, all your soaps, all that shit. I know it's going to be kind of hard right now with the fucking mail and, you know, taking all day, but I'm telling you. In San Diego, okay, I'll fuck with it. I'm pretty sure Nick Cannon probably know about it too. Let's see. You said, now what'd you say that book was? It was called, I have the Africana, the Encyclopedia of the African and African American. Okay, let me look. Let me see. The Encyclopedia of the African and African. I'm putting in African. I'm going to get off right now, man, but I'll be having to do this shit, man, because it's important. When people are giving me knowledge, I got to do that shit. Oh, it's an encyclopedia? Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to check it out. Hey, I'm going to tell you right now. It's in San Diego. I'm going to have to go check that out. Hey, because let me ask, Shawnee already know. Tommy, y'all should already know. When you bring up the Moors, motherfuckers don't like that shit. That's why Italians, when you bring it up with them, old school Italians, like I'm talking about 70s, 80s, you got to think about it. They in their 70s and their 80s, that means they 1920s, that means their parents were from the 1800s, which means their great-grandparents were from the 1700s, which means they know about the Moors. They know about the Moors. Black Book Gold Letters. That's the name of the book. See, that's why I gotta put my email in there, because every podcast we need to be talking about books. That's why I always, the Book of Enoch, I've always seen that book, but I never thought nothing of it. And I ain't gonna lie, I never even thought anything conscious of it. I just thought it was just some type of Bible book. But Shawnee Brown was the one that was like, hey, you need to check out the Book of Enoch. That's a dope ass book. And after that, it's so funny. Hella people been talking about the Book of Enoch. Just like when Tamisha was like, you need to go check out Behold the Pale Horse. I watched like 3 podcasts where motherfuckers was talking about Behold the Pale Horse. So I was like, I got to get that book. Go get the Behold the Pale Horse. It's a very, very good book. But I would always start off with Dr. Claude Anderson's Black and Labor Right Wealth. Okay. Okay, yeah. No problem. Let me see. Let me see if I can find my email, because I don't even know what the fuck the name is. Let me see. Hold on, let me see, because I'm looking. Okay. And let me see. Okay. Because I'm going to look it up right now, and then I'm going to try to put it in the chat. Because I'm telling you, man, it's very important. I'm going to tell you right now, this part of it is very important. Normally, I don't be on this long, but nah, man, I be wanting that knowledge. Any books that a person could put me on to, I'm all for it. And you like, why, Warren? Because, man, it's not just that it's important, it's imperative that you understand about knowledge. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's very important. You're like, why? Because it is. And I would say the reason why I look at it that way is because every day is a school day. Okay, he sells, hey, I get my CMOS from blackandnoble.com. That was like, because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want it in a pill form. And Shawnee had put me up to the shit. She put me on to it, so I just went through them, ordered that shit. That shit got here ASAP. This before all the bullshit, Corona shit, COVID shit, and shit, that shit been working ever since. Because, and I can always tell when I drink it or I have it, because when I drink it or I have it, it's always, my body reacts so differently, and I'm like rejuvenated. So that's how that shit works. That's a fact. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's, I just think it's very imperative that we as people understand that every day is a school day. Because if we don't understand that, to me, I think that we will fail as a team. And the reason why is because racism and white supremacy is a team sport. So if you don't understand how it works as a team, then in my personal opinion, we're not going to succeed as a team. Because you got to understand what's going on. You have to. Oh, let's see. That's why I think for the most part, I think I've always been trying to be around like-minded people that's, to me, doing that research and understanding, because put me up on the game. Like I said, I wasn't even thinking about Behold the Pale Horse, but Tamisha put me on that. I was thinking about the Book of Enoch. Shawnee put me on to that. And then my brother put me on to the Unseen Hand. And then I like it when people tell me books because I'll go buy them. And I think that's what it is. So look, check this out. I'm going to have all the emails, everything, because my shit is tripping right now. The camera ain't even working, but I'm going to have my email. I'm going to put it in the box so you can send me any books that you know, any comments, anything. Shawnee, if you know anything, Sunday, I'm going to have all that shit up. And we're going to have another discussion on Sunday around 3. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. This is the No I Don't Know TV series podcast. Everybody be safe. Oh, yeah, I'll be on Aleister Crowley studies. So above, so below. He was fucking pedophile type shit. Oh, yeah, he was. He took our knowledge and he corrupted it. We're going to talk about that. See, that's funny you talk about Aleister Crowley because he's next. See, study from the cradle to the grave. We got to know who these people are. He stole our shit and corrupted it and co-opted it. We're going to have those conversations on Sunday, 3 o'clock. Be safe out there in Philly, Shawnee. I appreciate everybody listening, subscribing. If you see niggas out there cooling the sandbone, talking about all lives matter, guilty, nigga. Hey, I'm out. Y'all have a good evening. Enjoy your time. Until Sunday, peace.